Honorable colleagues, the 12th order of the day is consideration of a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of School of Mines and Geological Services, Akoko Edo State, and for related matters, honorable members will recall that the bill was committed to the Committee of the Whole on Thursday, 21st November 2019. Honorable Peter Akpatason will move for its consideration.
The report of the bill for the establishment of a School of Mine and Geological Study in Akoko Edo Federal Constituency should be considered. So moved, Mr. Speaker. Stage for public hearing. I never survived it, as the committee did not come up with a report, despite my willingness to sponsor the public hearing. In the 8th Assembly, I presented the same bill. Fortunately for me and my constituents, the bill skated through the whole final stages of consideration. Thank you, sir. But unfortunately, it never got the assent of the president. Neither was it ever rejected. Now, sir, this bill is meant to address a very critical need in this our phase of development, where a lot of emphasis has been placed on oil revenue, and that particular source of revenue is gradually declining. But we have a very robust but untapped industry in this our economy, and that is the solid mineral industry. The bill that we're talking about is about establishing a school that will provide the much needed manpower, skilled manpower to cover the gap that currently exists in the country. We have a whole lot of solid minerals in the country, but tapping the resources has been a major problem. Where skills are available, in most cases, they are unskilled and not properly skilled, to the extent that the method of exploration of solid mineral has been very, very, rudimentary. In most cases, no due regard for safety and environment. Now, we are talking about establishing a school that is going to constitute a major platform for training highly skilled personnel to help to man the solid mineral resources of this country. We have them in abundance. We are only next to India in terms of the abundance of solid mineral. Yet, there's so much focus on oil. My dear colleagues, I believe that if we do the right thing to provide the right skill base for the exploration and production of solid mineral, in no distant time, we are going to find ourselves in a situation where oil is likely to take the second seat, or the passenger seat, in terms of revenue generation for this country. In my state alone, we have over 15 different varieties of solid minerals. In Nasarawa, in Niger State, in many parts of the north, and every part of Nigeria, we are well endowed and blessed with these solid minerals, but they are grossly undertapped as it is just now. If we have the right skills, we will do a lot better. And that is why I have come up with this bill to try and do what many countries of the world have already done in the past, and which took them to the level where they are today. Ghana, as small as it is, has about 3 schools that are dedicated to the study of mining and geological studies. At best in Nigeria, you have them in a few universities. You have a department in a few universities. When I came up with this bill in the 7th Assembly, I was happy that my colleagues in Plateau State borrowed a leaf from what I did, and they were luckier than me because a school was already existing in Plateau State which was not backed by law. And eventually, we joined them to ensure that we legitimized what was already existing so that, they can, do so much, as we want this school to do. Today, sir, and my dear colleagues, there's hardly any university in Nigeria that has a department of geology that does not send their students to Akoko Edo to go and study rocks, because we have a unique assemblage of rock formation called Igaraches, which spans the entire, area from Akoko Edo to Okene in Kogi North Central. It is unique. It's nowhere else in the whole of West Africa. We have it only one place in Nigeria, and that is Akoko Edo Federal Constituency. We believe that the best geologists are those who have access to rocks, to study rock formation and the rest of them. And having so many mineral resources, and including a unique, assemblage of rocks, where they can easily go for studies without having to travel long distances and the rest of them. The graduates of this school are going to be the best in West Africa, if not Africa and the whole world. On the strength of that, Mr. Chair and my colleagues, I seek your cooperation and support to consider the passage of this bill into an act of law, so that Nigeria will very soon. I'm not going to talk too much, trust me. I know that Lagos has oil now, so we'll support Lagos anytime, any day, but you have to support me too, my brother. In no distant time, Nigeria is going to find itself in a situation where solid mineral will be, be able to support oil and other resources, to fund our budgets, and to fund infrastructure development. On the strength of that, I ask that to support the passage.
How is it going to help our country?
Sir,
I want to call your attention to clause 2. It should be governing.
The council shall consist of a chairman.
Is the president and commander-in-chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So it should be the president on the recommendation of the minister, something like that. Can somebody move for the amendment officially? Amendment say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. So clause 3 as amended. Clause 4. Clause 4. Clause 5. Take your time, because he was saying he didn't know why the president did not sign. Now we are beginning to find reason why the president couldn't sign the Clause 5. Yes, sir.
There's actually, there ought to have been, as
Clause 6. Clause 7. What I have been amending? Clause 8.
Mr. Chairman, oh dear.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry to...
Here. It is not the provost that will appoint. You have a governing council. And once you have a governing council, it is the responsibility of the governing council to make an appointment, not even the minister. Not even the minister. Yes, sir. They don't recommend to him. This is my constituency, so I know what I'm saying. They take the decision. You see, you only have, if you do not have, for instance, governing council in place, now the management will sit and recommend to the minister who will only act as council. Subhanallah.
Fortunately, I also come from the same constituency. Yes, where there is a governing council, they sit and they interview and they send 3 names through the minister to the president. Usually, if the procedure is followed, the person that comes first is appointed. That is the procedure, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I think because clause 1 is dependent on the clause 2A, A and 1 and 2, if we read it, I think we should be able to have a clear understanding.
And teaching institutions about their autonomy. You put people who are supposed to be governing council, they are supposed to man the institution. Not that you give them the authority, then you go through the back door and collect the authority you have given them. No.
Mr. Chairman, I agree with you, but where you give these sole powers to a minister.
That's what we're saying, Minister. You appoint governing council who are coming from virtually every segment of the country, because it must reflect the 6 geopolitical zones. So they're taking every interest is there.
I agree with you, Mr. Chairman. So which means it is necessary we amend this clause. By the governing council.
$24, $25, $25, $25. Yes, sir. Thank you. Explanatory memoranda. Long title. Leader, move.
That the committee reverts to plenary to report progress. I so move.
Second. That's it. House revert to plenary to report progress. And for later matters, and approve clauses 1 to 2, approve clauses 3 as amended, approve clauses 4 to 6, approve clauses 7 as amended, approve clauses 8 and 9, approve clauses 10 as amended, approve clauses 11 to 13, approve clauses 14 as amended, approve clauses 15 to 25, the schedules, the explanatory memoranda, and long title of the bill. Can you move for the adoption of the report of the House, Leader? You move the motion for the adoption.
Chairman, once again, I'm sorry. Report should be adopted as so move.
Honorable Bingida.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues.
Motion say aye. Those against say nay. That's have it. Nolly.